Take a deep, slow, conscious breath. As we prepare to go out for parties or movies or functions, we have to prepare ourselves to do Shravanam. Head, neck, backbone straight. This is a position where the energy flow is maximum. Let us focus on our breath, always in the present moment. Let us let go all past, what has happened till this moment, keeping only the learnings with us. Let us let go all future anxieties, present confusions and tensions, and bring the mind in the present moment. That is our sadhana. Keeping the mind in the present moment is our very important sadhana for all of us. Let us remove all the unwanted thoughts from our mind by chanting loudly. Oh. Oh.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gajananam Bhutaganakisevitam Savittajambopalasaravakšitam Umasutam Shokavinashakaranam Namami Vigneshwarapadapankajam. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyanambam Karishyami Siddhir-bhavatu me sada. Akhanda-mandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam tatpadam darshitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimmirandasya jnananjana-shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Savaram Jangamam Yaptam Yatkinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapi Yat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva bandhuscha sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Sada Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्गुरुम् वसुदेवसुतं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
Thank you, Latara Chekharji. I think I know today is a big day in Saraswati Vidyalaya. Entire Mumbai Gita chanting competition is happening. Hari Om to all and a very happy new year. So we resolve that we all will always be happy. Things keep changing outside. And as Gurudev says that the year is not new, but if something new happens in our mind, then that moment is our celebration. I was in Kerala just now, so the two classes were not there. So in one of the ashram, I heard this story, real life. So one of the monk who had joined the ashram had to stay there with a senior monk because he was a new monk. And this monk was a very cleanliness freak because he liked things clean. And the monk who was staying with me was not so particular about, keeping things clean and tidy. So he used to say that this monk's side of the room was a war zone. Always all things here and there. There are some people who are just comfortable anyhow. So one day after, couple of months, he went and told the master that, this is a problem. I cannot concentrate and I cannot tell this person, and the room is so messy, so dirty, and I have to share that I'm not able to concentrate. Real life story. And the master smiled, didn't say anything. That day evening in the satsang, normally the master used to have a satsang in the evening with all monks. So that day evening, the master, after the satsang, told that there are some dignitaries going to come in the ashram. And that time, that ashram was not very big. So I'm going to give my room to the dignitaries and I'm going to come and stay in one of your rooms. But I don't know which room I will come and stay. I will come anytime in any room and come and stay. So this was the declaration by the master, and this monk who told me this story. That day evening when he came late at 12 o'clock in his room after the work got completed, he saw the entire room clean, neat, tidy of the other side. And then he asked that other monk, what happened? No. Today that master told that, the master can come anytime. So I have kept the room. I have made the room clean, neat, tidy. And from that day onwards, master used to declare that I am going to come and stay in anybody's room. And the room became neat and clean. And after a couple of days, this person went and told the master, thank you very much. And the master smiled all knowingly because that was a plot. The point I am telling this story in the new year because many people struggle, removing anger, jealousy, sadness, depression, this, that. We should not fight with all those negativities. We just do only one thing in life. It's a very important point. Never fight with negativities. Only bring God in our heart. Because many people waste a lot of time in discussing about one's own weaknesses. The point is that we should not be bothered about these weaknesses much. We must be aware, but we must do more japa, more sadhana, more satsanga, more swadhyaya, and automatically the negativities will go. And that is a new year, because when negativities go, then there is celebration with something new. And why we are discussing this? Because of two reasons. One, it's a new year. And secondly, as we know, Bhagavad Gita is divided into three parts. First 6 chapter focuses on who am I. So in the second chapter itself, Lord told Arjun that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are that Atma which cannot be destroyed, which cannot be burned, which cannot get wet. So become fearless. And there is no point to be sorrowful because all your reasons are invalid. And how to realize that? The 6th chapter concluded with meditation. And now we have completed the 7th chapter. From 7th chapter, the next topic starts. Who is God? What is God? And the last 6th chapter will tell us the relationship between the God, Tattvamasi. So in this 6th chapter, we should not have any doubt about what is God, who is God, what God does, why God does this, why God created this world, why there is suffering if God's creation is there. After these 6 chapters are completed, we must not have any question about God. But the point is very important that first I must know who am I, and then I must inquire about the world and then about God. The process is not to discuss about God without knowing who am I. One person went to Ramana Maharshi and asked that, what do you think? God is form with form or without form? No, he is Ramana Maharshi. He speaks very less. He asked him another question because that is his style. Without giving an answer, he will ask another question. He asked, who do you think you are? You are formless or you are having a form? Depending upon that, your belief will be on God. Suppose you think you are having a form, then God is having a form. Suppose you think that you are Atma or formless, then God is formless. So now we are going to do summary of 7th chapter where these questions we have already discussed, and then there are 7 questions asked in the 8th chapter where the 8th chapter begins. So we'll summarize the 7th chapter today and if possible start the 8th chapter. So the 7th chapter name is Jnana Vjnana Yoga. So first, Lord said that I'm going to say something which is very, very important. So please listen. How to listen is an art. Because we are not busy, we are preoccupied with our own work. One Mahatma said that people are not busy. Because busy means, continuously doing something. But even after continuously doing something, we cannot be busy. Most people get tired and say they are busy because they are preoccupied in the mind. So I am not able to listen to this kind of knowledge. So Lord says in the first verse itself in the 7th chapter that listen with faith, listen with attention. Guruji says attentively, not tentatively, without doubt. After this Shravan, there should not be any doubt because Shravan removes ignorance, Manan removes all doubts completely. Not with half-hearted, half attention on mobile, half attention somewhere else. And then I'm listening to God. God says, no, 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 this is not the way to listen to me because I'm going to tell something very, very important. Asamshayam samagramma. What are you going to tell which is so important? Why should I listen to you? I'm going to tell you what is knowledge and what is wisdom. Jnanam Vijnanam. So what is knowledge? So very important thing. This is one of the best definition of knowledge because many people think I'm very knowledgeable. Some people think I'm very ignorant. Some people are in between confused. So what is the definition of knowledge? Knowledge is that which doesn't change. That is jnana. With time, with space, with object, it doesn't change. And that knowledge can only be about God or Brahman or Atma. And definitely, many people say, okay, I understand Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, all these things. But tell me something practical. Practical means I want to experience something. So definitely, it can be experienced, and that is Vijnana. So this chapter name is very important. Lord says that I am going to give Jnana, but you have to do Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasam and experience it and make that yourself, make it yourself. The knowledge must become mine. This is one important point. When I heard Gurudev in one of the yajnas, he told that this knowledge must become yours, not mine or not Gita's or not Lord Krishna's knowledge. It must become yours. Then nobody can shake you. So it can definitely be experienced. So we should drop all these questions and no, all this knowledge is very impractical and it is not, it is only theoretical. Lord here says in the 7th chapter that it can be experienced, and that is Vijnana. This we are doing summary of 7th chapter. Huh? So what to know in life? This is a most important question that Lord says these two natures you should know of mine, because this is where the whole confusion happens with people. They are deluded. Further we will see the words. What are the two natures? I have two natures. Higher, which is formless, imperishable, infinite. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. And there is a lower nature, form, perishable, finite. Both are mine. Para, apara, manifest and unmanifest. This is where the whole question or doubt or samshaya happens, and the questions come from people about God. Why to know? Knowing which everything is known, everything is gained, because there are only three things I am doing entire life. Either I want to know something, our entire life goes into these three things. Either I want to know something, either I want to gain something, or I want to become something. A girl or boy wants to become husband or wife. Then husband and wife wants to become parents. Then parents wants to become grandparents, etc., etc. Executive wants to become manager, manager wants to become general manager, etc., etc. So there is becoming. Then I want to gain security, I want to get money, I want to get power, I want to get fame, I want to gain certain things in life. I want to gain experiences by traveling all over the world. Then I want to know, because nobody likes ignorance. So this knowledge, why Lord is saying that listen carefully, not tentatively, because once you know this, then you will attain supreme. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Om Brahmavit Apnoti Param. The knower of Brahman attains supreme. This must be our purpose of life. I am not satisfied with average, above average things. Spiritual people are highly ambitious. Most ambitious. The greatest ambition is there with spiritual aspirants. So people who are into spirituality never say that I don't have any ambition. No, I am having the greatest ambition in life because I want to gain the supreme. I am not satisfied now with the mediocre things because I've experienced them, because these come and go. Now I want to get the supreme, attain the supreme. Brahmavit apnoti param. Why few people seek Arjuna's? Why? If you tell this knowledge is so supreme and so great and knowing this, everything can be gained, why few people seek this? There are many answers we had discussed, but this is a summary. Gurudev says there are PhD level students are very few. Second reason, our senses are extroverts. So I am seeking happiness in relationship, objects and situations. There are three places where we seek happiness. Ramana Maharshi says that seeking happiness is not wrong, but seeking at wrong place is wrong. If there is sugar in the bottle, everybody must get it. If there is satisfaction in the job, everybody must get satisfaction in the job. If there is happiness in a relationship, everybody must get happiness in a relationship. But I am seeking at wrong place satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment, happiness, joy. It can never happen because I am seeking definitely at a wrong place. Like that needle, I am searching outside because there is light, but actually the needle has fallen inside. We know all that story. The third reason why Lord says, where he says in this chapter that one of my challenge, one of my dukkha is that people do not know me. And that's the reason they don't seek me. Because without knowledge, very important point, without knowledge, there cannot be a desire. I cannot have a desire about some Timbuktu tree in Africa, even if I don't have the knowledge of that tree. So without knowledge, there cannot be desire. So I must keep reading, keep listening, and keep gaining this knowledge so that the desire increases, and when the desire reaches a particular level, it is called as devotion. Otherwise, we are seeking God, but it is a part-time job. Even if I get it, even if I don't get it, it's okay. And the third reason is that Lord says that people do not know these two natures, so they do not seek me. The moment I know the nature of God, they will seek, because the nature of God is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, that is pure existence, consciousness, infinite bliss. Then the Lord says in this chapter that because the senses are outward and because there are so many things available, people seek different things. And as per their faith, I give them whatever they want. Some people want Swarga, some people want to know Rupa Darshan of God, some people want, some happiness in the world, some people want something from God. There are various things what we saw. Some want Rupa Darshan, some want Atma Darshan. So Lord says, I give them as per their faith. Yam tanum bhakta shraddhaya arjitum ichchita. As per their ichcha, as per their faith, I give you. I don't break their faith. This is a very important point. We must not break somebody else's faith. If the person says, no, I am having this, I do Rama Puja, I do this. Okay, you do that and you will go through that. No, you should do more Karma Yoga. You are doing more Bhakti Yoga. Then the Jnani Yogi will say, okay, you both are fools because this is an appearance. There is no Karma, there is no Bhakti. So all these fightings go on, and we must not get into another person's faith because everybody reaches the same God. The methods are different. Then in this chapter, Lord further went and said that unknowingly, knowingly, consciously, unconsciously, they all seek me. Suppose I seek some happiness in the world. Bhagavan says that world is me only. That happiness is me only. The jnana for that particular person to have that ichcha and then have that kriya is me only. So finally, Lord says that whatever you seek, that is me only, because my nature is happiness. There is no happiness in the world. If I get disconnected from the world will fall. The world will not have happiness. Asti bhati priyam rupam, Durugdrishya Vivek says that these are the qualities of God. And world qualities are only nama rupa. The moment the sentiency goes out from the body, then we say, okay, take this body. Only name and form remains. Bhagavan says that don't fight with each other and each other's path and criticize each other that somebody is studying, somebody is doing only puja, somebody is doing only karma. All paths lead to me, because this is where some energy goes in fighting and proving that my path is better than your path. Then he says there are 4 types of devotees who come to me. Artha, Artharthi, Jnani, and Jidnyasu. Artha is the person who is in some sorrow, in some pain, and then goes to an astrologer, goes to a doctor, goes to all places, but cannot solve the problem, then come to God. Bhagavan, save me. Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi, Kabir Dashi says. So a person who is dukhi, lot of pain, lot of suffering, lot of sorrow, then the intellect, then the logic, then all things go. There are so many cases, so many times we see that bachalo, do something but save me from this. So that is Artha. Artharthi is not having a problem, but he wants something in life. I want promotion, I want something more, I want to pass in the exam, I want to get married, I want something to happen to my family, something should good happen to me or to the world or somebody else, then that becomes a Artharthi. Jidnyasu is a person who wants to know about God. I want to know about somebody. I want to know who is God, what is God, what God does, whether he is in heaven, whether he is on earth. And the fourth is the Jnani. Jnani is the person who just loves God, because for a Jnani, the difference between God and him disappears. Aham Atma Gudakesha. He realizes that Aham Brahmasmi, myself and God at a particular level, if I think they are same. This is the only religion who has the daring to say Aham Brahmasmi, I am God. There are many people in Hinduism also. They get extremely fluttered when Vedanta says, I am God. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. No. You cannot be. You can be Sevak. You can serve God, you can be Das of God, but not I am God. So Lord says that this wise person, this Jnani is my favorite. Then immediately Arjun is a warrior, he will say, Bhagavan, you say, this is a very important point. Many people love God, but whom does God love? He says, I love the Jnani. Definitely a competitive person, a warrior like Arjun will say, no. How does this wise know you then? I also want to become wise. That must be our desire. Though we say paradharma bhayavaya, but suppose we find another devotee of the same Lord, I must not get jealous of that devotee. I must acquire qualities of that devotees in me. Suppose I see that another person is having more jnana, I say, okay, how can I get jnana from him? So here immediately Arjun is going to ask in the next chapter that please explain to me. So how does wise know the Lord? By six factors. These are very important because this becomes the topic of the 8th chapter. So the wise knows Lord. Now we have to pay attention as Brahman, as Adhyatma, as Adibhuta, as Adidaiva, as Adiyajna, as Karma. 6 factors are given. And then one more question is there, that how am I to remember you in my last breath? Why that is important? Because my last breath, my last thought will determine my next birth. And we know that Jada Bharata, he was beyond all desires, but he had one deer there. And then last thought was that what will happen to this deer if I go away? And then he became a deer, but he remembered that. And that's the reason in our culture, in the people go to Vanaprastha. After Yudhishthir and Arjun took over the Rajya, Gandhari and Dhritarashtra went in the jungle, and there we know Kunti also followed, and then how they died when there was a forest fire. Even though he was the king of the biggest empire, the final years they spent in a forest. No attachment here. So what should be my last thought? And very important, people think, okay, I will manipulate. Last thought I will keep of God, something nice, but it cannot happen because my mind doesn't listen to me. Right now only it is not listening. How will it listen as we grow older? When we grow older, actually, very interesting Sanskrit word is there, Vruddha. Vruddha is the word, and the meaning of that word is very interesting. When I came across, the Vruddha word comes from Vruddhi. Vruddhi means growth. Actually, after marriage, after children, after having grandchildren, I must become better and better, cheerful and cheerful, happy and happy, and outgrow all these things. But instead of becoming better, many of us become bitter. The moment I open my mouth, I say problem, this problem, that problem. So with age, experience and knowledge, whether I am becoming better and better or I am becoming bitter and bitter. So Vruddha person is only one who has Vruddhi. Vruddhi means grown and outgrown. Has become wise. Speak less. Wise people speak less. How to remember God in the last breath? First of all, why we forget God? So there are some frequently asked questions on God. So now the topic for the 6th chapter is God. So all these questions must be very clear in our mind. What are the frequently asked questions about God? All these answers are given this, but we are simplifying it. Bhagavan says, Mohitam nabi janati. Because of delusion, people don't know me, my nature. And that's the reason all this confusion happens about God. Still on Google, God is the highest hit. Majority of the fighting is happening on God's name only. If you do not follow my God, then I will kill you, one religion says. Another religion says, I will convert all people to my God. But we have to see what is the nature of God, Lord is saying. So we'll take few questions. What is God? First of all, I must be very clear. If anybody comes and asks anytime post today that do you believe in God or do you don't believe in God, especially with teenagers and children, we must not ask them or force them to believe in God. We must first discuss, define God. Define God. If we read our Shastra, Tattva Bodh, Brahma Sutra, very important. The question is asked. First of all, you define what is God. Define Brahman. Then we will seek Brahman. Without definition, how can I know? So the definition of God is two. Lord again and saying this is the most important point in this 7 chapters or entire Gita, that Lord again and again says in various ways, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Para, Apara. Two natures of God, I must be very clear. There are two natures of God. And whenever we ask some question on God, we must understand quickly from what point of view the question is coming. What is the context? Without context, the content becomes very confusing. There are two things, context and content. And then we must think about the intent. First, we must understand what is the context of the question. This can help us in understanding people very well, because most of the time the whole problem happens with the content without understanding the context. So, God has two natures, higher and lower. What does God know? Nothing from the higher nature, because if you go to sun and ask, what do you know about darkness? Sun will say nothing. If I go to Brahman, Nirvikar, Nirvishesh, infinite, pure existence, consciousness, ask about the world, the Brahman will say, okay, what world are you talking? There is no world. Jagan Mithya Brahma Satya. And when we come to the lower, God knows everything as Ishvara. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that I know everybody's past, present, future. Now there should not be confusion, because there are contradictory statements comes in Bhagavad Gita or any scripture. Those are not contradictory, those are point of views. Sometimes Lord says that I do everything. Sometimes God says I don't do anything. You are responsible. Sometimes He says I created this world. Then sometimes He says I don't create anything. This creation has never happened. Where can we find God? Lord says that very important words, Mai Sarvavidam Protam Sutre Maniganava. It will not be seen in the world by our senses, because God is beyond senses. The thread is not seen. So there are two answers to this again. Higher, not in the world, in that way. And lower, everywhere, in every aspect. Chara, achara, we can find God. And that's the reason Kabir Das ji says from one aspect, from the higher aspect. ना मंदिर में, ना मस्जिद में, ना काशी कैलाश में, ना योग में, ना संन्यास में, मैं तो विश्वास में, मैं तो तेरे पास में. Now from what perspective he is talking? He is talking from the higher perspective, that I am not in yoga, I am not in sannyas, I am not sitting on some Himalayan mountains. No, but then we should not get, so we should not go to temple and church and mosque. We should go because from the lower aspect, it is there in the entire creation. Ashtamurti Bhru Deva Pujanam, Brahmana Maharshi says. In all the 8 aspects. What are the 8 aspects? You have to go to the 7th chapter and see. We had discussed. So what does God do? This is another question. You know why God is creating all these wars? Why there is so much of suffering? Why God creates negativity? Why God creates violence? From today, this question should disappear. From higher nature, nothing God does. Because Brahman, from Brahman point of view, there is no creation only happened. From sun point of view, there is no darkness, there is no day, there is no night. And from the Ishwar point of view, suppose we say that Lord, this world is created, then there has to be a creator. From that point of view. Isha Vasyam Idagam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat. We are learning Ishavasya Upanishad. Everything, the ruler is Ishvara. Isha means rule of the lower nature. The world is ruled by God. Why God creates and dissolves this world? Aham Krusnasya Jagataha. From higher view, world is only an illusory appearance. This is not very easy for us to digest sometimes, that this is all appearance, but this is from the highest point of view. Jagan Mithya Brahma Satya, but that should not be discussed and taken, okay, if Jagan Mithya Brahma Satya, okay, today I will not cook, I will not go to work, I will not have any kind of, puja, japa or transactions or go to office and transact business. It is from the highest point of view. And that's the reason Lord says, this is a point of manana. Lord says prabhava and dissolution. Wherever the cause is efficient and material cause, both are same. It has to be an illusion. It cannot be real world what Lord can be creating, because there will be two things. Then Advait will not stand. And from the lower point of view, Gurudev had already given this answer to enjoy the world. So from today, it's a new year resolution. Let us celebrate every moment, because God has created this entire world, infinite world. And that's the reason Lord is giving us so many lakhs of births. Okay, you want to experience water? Then I will make you a fish experience water. If you want to experience sky, then some birds will become birds. If I want to become amphibian, then I will become amphibian. So then this entire world is so infinite, so big, so many Brahmandas, so many Vishnus, so many Prajapatis. There are Aneka Koti Brahmanda. Not only our earth and our solar system and our universe is there. Aneka Koti Brahmanda. There are Aneka Vishnu, Anek gods and goddesses managing this Aneka Koti Brahmanda. We are only one small things. So why God created this world? God says to enjoy. This is my creation. One small coffee or poha or idli we make and give to somebody else. How is it? How is it? How is the chutney? How is the chutney? The chutney is nice. I had created some nice article, written a small book. I decorate my house, I do something. How is it? How is it? We post on the Facebook. Why? Because the need is same thing. How is it? Nice, nice. So God also says, how is it? You tell me. Oh Lord, your world is so beautiful, so infinite, so wonderful, so amazing. Lord says, that is what I want to hear. And so interesting, because both things are there. So to enjoy the world and to learn, this is Gurudev's answer. One person went and asked, why God created this world? He said, why do you go to a movie? It will to enjoy or to learn. So from today, the resolution in 2024 is that either I am enjoying or I am learning. There is no sadness, there is no sorrow, there is no anger, there is no jealousy, because some experiences make us learn and some experiences ensure enjoyment. There are only two purposes of living life. Either I am learning or I am enjoying this life. Suppose I am having a bad experience, I am learning. Suppose I am having a good experience, I am enjoying God's world. The only problem God has is only one. Only one problem God has. He says, Not he says, God says. Otherwise, people say, why you're telling he, not she. God says that don't think this world belongs to you. Everything is mine, not yours. Just remember that and enjoy. Just be a bhokta, not a karta. Everything is I have created you, I have created your parents, I have created this world, I have created these Vedas, I have created this Aneka Koti Brahmanda, which are Prabhava and Pralayastha. I do both. I dissolve because I am not attached to it. I dissolve at my will, I create, and it is going on eternally. So to realize this and to realize that God is the creator and seeking the creator, I will realize that happiness within. And then I will stop seeking outside is the purpose of our life. So here we got all answers about God and our purpose also. So henceforth, there should not be any questions on God. Where is God? What is God? What God does? Why God is not doing this? Why God is creating this? Why He is troubling me? Why He is troubling people? All these questions must deserve His creation. When a producer, director creates a movie, why don't we ask this question? No. Why did you create? Why did you create a villain? And why did you take that heroine away from the hero? But that is what is the fun is. Till there is some sangarsha, till there is some achievement, till there is maja nahi. Nobody goes and sees a movie of brother and sister love where there is no villain, no sangarsha, nothing happening, no struggle. What is that movie? Nobody will go and see that movie. So Lord says, I will make the most interesting movie where everybody will be so involved that they will forget the screen. They will so be involved in the movie, entire life, that they will forget the creator, producer, the screen also. So Lord says that do one thing, that you, by remembering God, by remembering the screen, you enjoy the movie. So this is the summary of the 7th chapter. So now we go to the 8th chapter. We have 10 minutes. The 8th chapter name is Akshara Brahma Yoga. Now we're doing summary of chapter wise summary. We have completed verse by verse before that. Different names are there for 8th chapter. Yoga of imperishable Brahman, Pranava Yoga or Mahapurusha Yoga. The 4 names. So before we start, we just pray to God that please ensure that we don't forget. Please ensure that our devotion increases, our love increases. Important thing what Guruji says is that when this jnanam increases, premam also must increase, and that is called as digestion of this knowledge. When knowledge goes inside, love must come outside. Very important point. Not jnanam must come, otherwise we hit people with our own jnana. When this jnana will go inside, premam must come outside. So now we come to Akshara Brahma Yoga, where it starts with the 6 words what Lord has used, that how the wise know. Immediately Arjun realizes that I do not know the meanings of these words. And he also wants to know that if you say wise is your favorite one, Jnani is my favorite, then I also want to know these 6 words, how Jnani knows you. So the Jnani knows Lord this way. So now we must also from today know God this way. Because Lord himself says that if you know me this way, then not only that your devotion will increase, my love towards you also will increase. It is very important, that we must strive to become favorite of somebody. We must strive with people only. No, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people do about me. Must be careful. How to become favorite of somebody, where we gain trust of somebody, and how to be lovable, because unless and until we become lovable here, how can we be lovable to God? Very important point. That's the reason people prefer God over people, because God doesn't say anything. It's very easy to love God, very difficult to love people. It is very difficult to be lovable. So Lord says that know me this way now, and then your devotion will increase and I will come and lift you from wherever you are. So the 6 questions in the first verse, Kim Tat Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim means what is it? And here 2 names Arjun takes, Purushottama and Madhusudana. Kim Adi Bhutam, Kim Adi Daivam. And one question very interestingly, Prayana Kale Cha Katham, how should I meditate? Because earlier chapter you told meditate on me, but who are you? How to meditate in the last breath? How to meditate when I know that I am going to leave and I do not know when I am going to leave? So we mentioned this earlier. Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to live, L-I-V-E. And Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavad teaches us how to leave, L-E-A-V-E. Both are important because their Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days and he asked how to leave now. And before that snake came and bit him, he had already given up his body in Samadhi, he had realized. So we must know 2 things, how to live and when to leave this world. Gurudev says that before the world throws you out on the 4 bamboos, that is his style of saying, you leave the world, you kick the world from your mind out. Before the world kicks you, you kick the world out of your mind. So now these 6 questions we are going to take up. What is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is karma? Very interesting definition. We have done entire 3rd chapter on Karma Yoga, but here Lord gives another definition of karma. What is Adi Bhuta? What is Adi Daiva? Who and how is Adi Yajna in this body you are talking about? And at the time of death, how to know you, how to meditate on you. So these are the 7 questions which becomes the topic of the 8th chapter. Why it is called Akshara Brahma Yoga, that we will see during the course of the chapter. So what is Brahman? Literal meaning of Brahman is Brihatvat, the biggest, infinite. Actually, the Brahman is defined in the negative way because it is called as limitless. Any sorrow, any trouble, any suffering anybody on this planet is having, it is a question of some limit. And there are 3 limits. There is a limit of time. There is a limit of object and there is a limit of space. In COVID time, we were not able to go out, so people were suffering. I can be only here, I cannot be everywhere. Limit of space. I can be only this, but not another this. Limit of object. So all sufferings are related to some limit. Anytime when a person shares about some problem, some challenge, the person indirectly, a spiritual person will listen to some limit what he is talking which he wants to break away. Some limitation is creating some problem in my life. And what is Brahman? Limitless, no limit of time, space, objects. So Brihatvat, the biggest, one absolute, imperishable, the supreme, the changeless, infinite, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Satchitananda, all these things we have heard. And the name and symbol of this Brahman is Om, substratum of entire universe. So this is the definition of Brahman from different perspectives. So what is Brahman? Brahman is not Brahmin. Brahman is not Brahmaji. Brahman means Vedas also are called as Brahman. Om also is called as Brahman. Sometimes in Bhagavad Gita or another text, Brahmin also is called as Brahman, because in Sanskrit, one word has many meanings and one meaning has many words. And that's the reason we require a teacher like Adi Shankaracharya, Gurudev, Guruji to explain what it means. And so there is confusion in people's mind who read Bhagavad Gita or the scriptures on their own. First of all, I must listen, then I must read, then I must do Manan. So what is Brahman? Brahman is that. Why should I be interested in that Brahman? This is a very important point. Why? Suppose I tell, okay, there is one tree in Africa which is very beautiful. Why should be I interested in one tree somewhere else? That's the reason people talk about God. That God somewhere else sitting in heaven, in Vaikuntha Lok. Why should I be interested? Why do I bring God in my life again and again? So that Brahman, why should I study? So here our goal is to realize that Brahman, Tattvamasi, that Brahman is me only. So we will see goal, why these 6 things are there. We will see what is the goal. So Tattvamasi means that thou art, that is me. Otherwise, that's the reason people don't study about Brahman, Atma, because they think that is something else. Guruji will always say, when we read Upanishads or higher text, they will discuss about Brahman. After the discourse is over, people will say, okay, Guruji, I have understood about Brahman. Everything about Brahman I know, but I have a problem. Contradictory statements. I know about Brahman, but I have a problem. If I am Brahman, how can there be a problem? Problem is there to body, mind, intellect. What is Adhyatma? Atman, subjective essence, conscious principle, the true self, the I amness in me, beingness in me, the spirit, the illuminator in body, mind, intellect. So there is Brahman and there is Atma. This must be very clear. There should not be any confusion that Atma and Brahman are different. What is the goal? Our goal in life is to know that Brahman and Atman is one. Aham Brahmasmi. This is the second Mahavakya. Okay, is Tattvamasi. The self in me is the self in all. My real nature is not this perishable, changing, finite, suffering, fearful. But my real nature is that. What is Adi Bhuta? Perishable, changing, Prakriti, 5 elements, the world, the BMI, the Jagata. The Jagata word is very interesting. Jayate Gacchati iti Jagata. That which is changing is called as Jagata. Very, very interesting, important definition of Jagata. What is the goal here? Our goal in life is to enjoy the world, but not get attached to objects, situations, people, because it is changing. Seeking permanent happiness in impermanent world is the greatest cause of sorrow. My body is changing. It is going to become old. I must enjoy senior citizenship rather than keeping and, oh, this is not happening, that is not happening, I'm not able to walk, I'm not able to go anywhere, I'm not able to do this, because that means I'm not embracing the change. This person was like that, now people have changed. People will change, objects will change, situations will change, because that is a nature. Jayate gacchati iti jagata. So that is Adi Bhuta, which is whose nature is perishable, whose nature is changing, which is made up of 5 elements, Prakriti. So what is the goal? Enjoy and let it go. Adi Daiva, powers presiding behind the apparatus of knowledge and activity. Jnanendriya and Karmendriya, there is a Golaka behind it. Somebody doesn't have eye, the Indriya is not there, but suppose we put some another eye, the person starts seeing, that means the power was there. Somebody is not having leg. Suppose a leg is put, the person starts walking, power was there. So I must become fearless so that this power will be transferred in the next life. Only the equipment goes out of order. I should not say, no, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do this now. That is only related to the body, but this power is going to go to the next birth because I will get another body. So Adi Daiva means the power presiding deities. So for each organ, there is a deity. We must pray to that deity. Okay, Bhagwan, keep this organ safe. And the deity has the power to Jnanendriya and Karmendriya to know and to act. Greatest wonder, I can see, taste, smell, hear. One child, there was a real life story. One child was given question in the exam. Please write 7 wonders of this universe. That child wrote, I can hear, I can taste, I can smell, I can see. This is the greatest wonder in life. So every day morning, suppose I open my mouth, I can see, I can walk, I can eat, I can taste, I can smell, I can hear. That is the greatest wonder. Experience divinity every moment. Adi Daiva, goal in life is to realize that these powers will get transferred from one birth to another. So, other two we will take it next time. The 6 questions. Sometimes when we read these 6 questions, it becomes technical, but here we are giving what is the goal, where we can strive, where it becomes practical, it becomes mine. Otherwise, what is Brahma, what is Adhyatma, what is Adibhuta, what is Adidaiva? There are technical definitions what we are given. But what is the purpose of that is very important. This is how a Jnani thinks. A Jnani knows the Lord, and that's the reason the Jnani is the favorite. God loves him the most. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you very much.